Welcome to our channel, Loving Hand Crafts by BMW. This is Brenda. So today I'm bringing you another project. I cannot seem to stop making notepads and notebooks. It's just my recent crafting obsession, so I'm going to work it out. I'm going to continue to make projects till I work it out in my system. But today I wanted to bring you this lovely notepad cover. I was inspired by watching a YouTube video, and I was watching a creator by the name of Paula, and I was really inspired by what she did. So I wanted to go ahead and do something like this because I think I want to make this like a Christmas present for my coworkers. So so I put it together. It looks fairly easy. This is the notepad that comes out. This is reusable. So I added a little belly band. I just followed her instructions, and I will link to her video. The person that you gift this to can refill this. So it's kind of environment friendly. I added some embellishments. I used what I had in my stash. So this is all the paper I had in my stash. So I just made this, and I'll pull it together. I got some raffia, so it's really good. Okay, so let me just say this. I watched her do this, and she used I'm assuming she used a paper trimmer. But again, tell everybody I'm challenged with the paper trimmer. If I want things to come out straight, not be wonky, I just converted everything that she did, and I in my Cricut cut it on my Cricut and used Design Space to set everything up. So I'm going to take you over to Design Space and show you what I did, and then we'll come back and do the assembly. So yeah, I'll be. So here we are in Design Space. So I just took the measurements that Paula provided and used some basic shapes. So I used this shape in Design Space to make all of these cuts. So I have provided you with the information here. So this is the chipboard. So the chipboard is 2 pieces. So the 2 pieces for the chipboard are 5 1/4 by 3 5/8. So I just did the little conversion, and there you go. And I added it to Design Space. Then for the outside cover, basically I probably should call it outside cover. That's 9 3/4 by 6 3/4. And then the inside cover is 8 by 4 1/2. You can modify this if you like. I'm sorry, I have it grouped together. Let me ungroup it. Let's see, so if you want it more or less, you can modify this a little bit. You can bring it out a little bit to give you a more even border. You'll see what I'm talking about when I go to assembly. But ideally, this is what she had, so this is what I'm using. I didn't reinvent the wheel. I think the pocket is missing. Okay. So then the belly band or the note wrap, that's like 5 by 1 1/4. To cover the decorative panel or the embellishment to the actual writing pad, that's 3 1/2 by 6 3/4. There is a pocket that you can do. This is optional. You don't have to do that. The pocket is 4 by 2 3/4, and you can score the pocket on 3 sides at 1 1/4. And so yeah, that's what it looks like using basic shapes. I did get the pocket from, delete that. I did get the pocket this image from out of Design Space. Okay. So having said that, then you can make it. Now I have made it on my Joy Extra, and it's everything can do everything on the Joy Extra because these score lines are dashed, not solid score lines. So you can do it either way, if you so choose. But so when you click on Make It, you get about 6 or 7 mats. Let's see what they look like. So yeah, you get about 6 mats. So the only thing that I did is I wanted my pocket and my band to be the same color. So if you forget to do that, then you can click on Move This Object, so the 3 dots, the ellipses, and click, and I'll add it to the pocket where the pocket's going to be, and then just move it down. And then that way these will cut out on one mat. I just eliminated a mat. Also, I can tell you, let me go back to, you can get the chipboard, this layer, this mat. You can get 2 of these on one chipboard because the chipboard is 8.5 by 11, so you can actually cut out 2 at the same time if you so choose. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and if you click on Make It, I don't think it's on. Keep forgetting to cut it off. Try to make a habit of cutting off my Cricut. When I'm not using it, because I could very well leave it on all night. But for the chipboard, the setting that I've used with this particular brand of chipboard, I just used heavy cardstock as my material type. And then because this is pretty light pattern paper, I used, as soon as it ever comes up, for my material setting, I used light pattern paper as the option. I think it's being persnickety over there. It's not connecting. Okay. Yeah, I knew when it took too long, it's not connecting. Let me cancel the cut. Yes. Let's back to continue. How about that? Let's fake it out again. Really? Okay. It's blue. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so for my chipboard, I was sure to use heavy cardstock. And then for my pattern paper, I use light pattern paper, so it wouldn't, because it's not medium cardstock, it's very lightweight. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set more pressure. I'm going to go ahead and take you over to the craft rooms where it's cutting out. Enjoy that, and then I'll bring you back for assembly. talk about supplies. So this is a paper pad that I chose. I got this from my local craft store. Um, what got my eye is this, because this will be a more on the more masculine side of what I'm crafting for, because this is going to be a gift. And so I just selected papers from this paper pack that I liked, and I think there's 5 sheets of each color. So it's plenty of color and plenty of things to choose from to make this visually interesting. And it comes with some ephemera, some stickers, and then some lettering, but I'm never going to use that. So, but it's worth the value. You're going to need a writing pad. So the writing pad that for this project is 3.5 by 5 inches. You will be needing some type of ribbon, elastic, anything to kind of close the book. I use some grommets, so you'll need something for the grommets. You're going to need some kind of charm. I had some tassel. I have some other charms, some jump rings for that. Let's see. You're going to need your glue. You're going to need possibly a scraper tool, a knife, some kind of blade knife or X-Acto knife, a bone folder, and then I'm using my 5-in-1 tool to put this all together. Okay, so that's the mechanics. So you've got the supplies, the measurements. The hardest part was picking out the paper. So I put that in the wrong spot. Just telling on myself. I knew I should put it up a little bit further. So I've created a little pocket. Now, if you have a die, you can certainly use a die. You don't have to use the pocket that I selected in Cricut, because I did do the pocket. So yeah. So let's see. Let's show you what it got cut out. So here's my spine. And then while I was there, I cut out, since I was cutting this out for this video, I went ahead and cut out a couple of them, just to see how many I could do, because again, I wanted to do this as a Christmas gift. So my thought process is go ahead and for the chipboard is 8.5 by 11. So I can actually cut out 2 of these at a time. So that worked out really well, because I had enough to do 2. So I really enjoy it. This is the perfect size for mass production. So that's that. So yeah, let's bring out these individual pieces. So that's gonna be that's the inside cover. This is gonna decorate this part right here. That's gonna go over that to decorate that. I think what I'm gonna do is find some scrap paper and glue that. So this is a kind of thin. This is not my first choice, but it was with the paper pack and I wanted to use it. So I'm going to put something and make this a little bit more sturdy. It's a little thin for my taste, because the recipient will be flipping that up. Put that to the side. So this is going to be my front cover. I wanted to pick something that I could kind of decorate with some of that ephemera that came with the paper pack. So that's what that is. So let's do it. Put this bad boy together. So I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to use my 5-in-1 tool. This is, to me, the easiest way I found to use it. So with my 5-in-1 tool, I'll have a link to that as well. I put that here, and then I kind of sort of lay it out. And this gives me the perfect placement. This is a godsend. I couldn't have, because again, sometimes things get a little askewed, but this was a godsend. So And you do not have to use liquid glue. It's just my preference. So that's just me personally. I think I've had a discussion before about me using double-sided adhesive. It's never pretty. Never, ever pretty. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put down some glue. The thing with the paper, this is pretty light cardstock. I don't even think it's not 80 pounds, so I don't exactly know the exact weight, but think of it, but it's a little bit thicker than copy paper, but not that much. Not that much. Okay. So I'm just making sure I got my 5-in-1 tool lined up to the edge of the paper. And then I'm going to hold that in place. And then I'm going to set this in and get that aligned. Whoops, a little. There we go. There we go. And then what I like to do is take my brayer and just spray that down. And this will eliminate any air pockets, and it'll actually help distribute the glue better, because again, this paper is pretty light. You don't want it to buckle or bubble or anything like that. So I do that side like that. Looks like it's straight. Yep. Then I'm going to do the other side. So I'll do the same kind of maneuver. Put some liquid glue on here. Make sure I hit the corners. Just a light bead of glue. And this should last a good long time. That's why I like where it's pretty refillable. So that's pretty clever. I thought that was a very attractive feature of this particular notebook holder. I think it's really nice. It's sturdy. It's going to make a nice Christmas gift, especially. I think I'm going to get some coordinating pins and tuck a little pin in there. Give them with a writing instrument. Okay, that's how that did that. Make sure that's all down. Then for the spine, I'm going to take this little piece. I think I don't know. It says it's in millimeters. 3.7 millimeters, whatever that is in inches. I have not a clue. But it gives you the perfect amount of space. It's for here. So couldn't even tell you what that was in inches. I'll have to look it up. I'll have to do the conversion. If Alexa was on, I'd tell her to tell me to convert that to millimeters. That's one thing I never did learn. How to convert inches to meters, to the metric system. That's not our world. We live in America. We're all about inches and miles and pounds and stuff like that. Okay, so see how that gives you the perfect spacing between these two? Is it a little off? A little off. I can move it over. It's not exactly perfect. I should have checked it on both sides. It's a little off. Is it stuck in there really good? All right, I'm not going to risk it. It'll be okay. Okay, so that's step one. So get your cover all done. Since this is not a patterned paper per se, it can, this could be up, but it's not. I don't have to be overly concerned if the pattern was in directional. Okay, so the next step we're going to do is we're going to miter these corners. And this is what this tool is good for as well. So here we go. We're going to, take this and get that in the corner. And then I'm going to use my little blade pen knife or blade knife or whatever the heck it's called. And keep my fingers well out the way. Make sure I have that. I'm taking this hand and pushing in this direction to try to keep it in place. And then I'm just going to get that till it comes off and move it out the way. And then I'll do the other 4 corners. You don't have to have the 5-in-1 tool. I completed it without it. But again, it makes life a lot easier and it makes things a little bit more consistent. And although I try not to freak out about inconsistencies, I'm muttering in my head. My husband told me, "You're too critical on yourself." I was like, but I'm muttering it in my head, and I'm not muttering it out loud, but I am muttering because I usually check both sides. Okay, one more corner. But again, like I said, it's handcrafted and handmade, so some things are not going to be picture perfect. I strive for that, but that's not always the case. Whoops. Make sure you get that corner. Okay, that's that. That is the extent of that. I can put this away safely. I don't need this. I'll put that away. I'm going to bring out my bone folder and move you out of there. And so now, okay, so you got your corners all cut. Now you can kind of get the paper kind of bent and just give it a little bit of persuasion because you're telling it this is the way you want it to bend before I lay down the glue. Again, you do not have to use liquid glue. You could, if double-sided adhesive is your jam it on. I guess it's not mine. So I'm just going to start laying on a nice bead of glue. And I always start with the long sides first and then do the short sides. So that's the side. I'm going to do it like this a little bit. Then I'm going to start in the center. And then I'm pushing towards me with the flap, kind of like an envelope. And then I'm just making sure it's all down. I'm going to take my brayer and braid it this way. And I'm going to take my bone folder, sharpen up that edge like that, and then do it like that. And I'm going to do the opposite side. Lay a bead of glue down through here. And then I like to do a little zigzag. And then definitely around the corners, and I definitely want to make sure I get good contact there. Those corners. And then I'll do this again like that. Bring it in. Then I'm pressing towards me when I'm holding the paper down because I want it to lay down really good and not have any ripples like I'm trying to avoid right there. Slow that out a little. That's what this bone folder is good for, trying to get those ripples out of there. And I got enough glue here, so let's run my bone folder. Clean that up. Okay. A bit of ripple. Let's see. Yep. Do I have a piece of cardstock? Yeah, here we go. So I can get that glue in there. Okay, yeah, I took care of that little part. So for this side, we'll do the same thing. If you find you have too much paper here, you can kind of use your finger to push that in You can use your bone folder and push that in a little. So you can have a crisp edge. Like, yeah, it looks like it. You can kind of use your finger to push that in a little. There we go. And then use the brayer. I love this brayer. It's very handy. Very, very handy. And it'll smooth up that side. We'll do that other side. Very handy. And this is this really good Barely Art Craft for precision glue, and it's really good. It's the only glue that I use. Yeah, I should put that in a little bit. Little glue spot, don't want that a roll of glue getting anywhere. Okay, so that is your cover. And then now we can cover. Now this is directional when I'm going to cover the inside of this. You can modify the cover, the inside cover. You can modify that to whatever you like, or if you want more sides showing. Because this was 8 by 4.5. Yeah, 8 by 4.5. But if you don't like that, you can make it a little bit wider, a little bit, whatever you prefer if you want more showing on the sides. However, but the point I'm making sure is when you put this down, this is directional. Make sure you don't have your fish going. I mean, it wouldn't really matter, but because this is pretty universal. I mean, it could go either way. So I just be mindful as I do that. I don't want to waste any paper by not paying attention to which direction the paper is going or which direction I'm laying out my design. Okay, let me make sure I get these corners just a little bit. So here we go. We're going to lay this down and center it as best you can. Try to get an even border, left, right, top, bottom. I'm not going to get an actual even border all the way around because I have more of this showing, but I just used the measurements that Miss Paula did. So and I think I like this look because it's like a nice little band. It almost like it takes this inside pocket and makes a frame. Ooh, there's a train going by. So yeah, and then I'm using my brayer, and I can see I didn't get any glue right here, so I'm gonna paint that in there. I can see things popping up already. So I'm gonna paint a little more glue underneath there. Leo from Dreaming Tree is a fan of that method, and it does work. So what I'm going to do is pay particular attention to the spine, because when you see the paper doesn't really want to go that way. So I'm going to make sure I paint a little bit more glue on it and get it down in there, because you want the spine, when you fold it back, you want the paper to stay in place. So we will paint some more glue here. Whoops. And I'll use my bone folder. Get down in there. Get that glue well distributed. I'm no expert, by the way. Okay, because the paper really doesn't want to move that way. So what you're going to do, it's still popping up. So that means I didn't get a lot of glue in here. So what you're going to want to do for that is you want to kind of persuade your paper, because it doesn't want to do that. Just start talking to it and communicating with it that, hey, I want you to go this way. I want you to do this. And then, I don't know if you can see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stick a little glue down there. And see if I can't get it to stick. I knew I was going to move in a little too. Whoop. Here we go. Let's paint some more glue on there. I just don't want it to, I want to have enough glue, but I don't want it to kind of lift from the chipboard as you're handling it. So I'm going to be a little bit more patient. Make sure I get some good adhesion before I move on. Maybe let it sit up a little longer. That bottom looks fine. It's just this top. Keep massaging it. So I'm run my bone folder. I'm really pressing down really hard, making sure I can persuade that glue to set up. Okay, it still didn't want to set up. Let's see. And yeah, it's oozing out. So maybe this time. Let's see, so make sure I'm smoothing that glue out because I don't want it to buckle on there. So just making sure I get that glue spread around. The extra time and attention you take, this is what Loving Hands is all about. You're making it with love and care to attention. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, I'm halfway satisfied. Now see, when I turn the book, when I close the book, I don't see any paper coming up. Like I don't see it pucking out. So now this is the direction, because this is, if I do it this way, my fish are going and swimming in the wrong direction. So now I need to make sure that this is my orientation going forward for whatever I do. So that's how quickly that came together. It took me a little bit longer than I anticipated because of the glue, but it doesn't take long to put these together. Let me just give it a little bit more persuasion with that. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so that's that. So the next thing we're going to want to do is let's go ahead and put in our pocket. So I just found an image in Design Space for the pocket. And I'm sorry, I don't think I mentioned the pocket. So the pocket is 4 by 2 3/4, and it's scored at 1 1/4 on 3 sides. So here, here, and here. I typically will try to go ahead and if I'm using my Cricut, the Joy Extra, then I create dash lines because this had solid score lines. So I took those, hid those, and then just put little dash lines, and so that I could use my, if I wanted to use my Joy Extra, that I would be able to go ahead and do that without having to pull out my scoring stylus or my scoring wheel on the Cricut Maker. Okay, so that's the pocket. So that's going to go here. And you can decide how far down you want the pocket, how far over. But what you want to do is be mindful of this line score area for the spine because you do not want the pocket to interfere with the closing of the booklet. So what you're going to do is you're going to put a bead of glue, and I think I put this up a little bit too high, but I'm going to make it work. I think it'll be fine. So what I'm going to do first is put down a bead of glue here and close the bottom flap first. And doesn't have to be a lot, just enough. Nope, did it wrong. Yeah, I did it wrong. You don't want to do that. Because if you glue this, your stuff can't get down to the bottom. I just thought about that. So I'm going to put glue here and here. And so you want to keep that kind of open. Yeah. I just thought about it. I was like, okay, Brenda, if you do that, then how are you going to get your stuff in there? Because then this will glue to the front and then you won't have a pocket. Glad I saw that. I'm so used to just doing it like a regular tab. So now that takes care of that. Let me let that set up a little. Just want to get those tabs in because, if you slide something in here, you want it to be able to get to the down in there. And then you can go ahead and glue down this like that. Whoops, put my hand right in it. Well, now you can just glue this down. Because you want to make sure, make sure I get it to the top. All right, so here we go. And then I am going to set it about right here. Not too close to the edge of but not too close to the bottom. You can make it even with this part, but depending on what you're putting in the pocket, I'm going to be putting a tag. I'm definitely going to be making a tag, and I'll do that. I just thought about it when I was putting this together. It's like, oh, I could do a tag right there. So what you want to do now is take your bone folder and then just make sure that you're getting good adhesion with the pocket. And then I'm just running my bone folder along those edges. And I really want this to set up because this would be pretty delicate. Okay. All right, so that takes care of that. Then we want to put together our little writing tablet, and you're going to use all of these. So let me open that up. Oh, do I want to use? No, I don't want to use that color. That'd be too. Yeah, this will work. You can get this at your local dollar store. Just saying. There we go. I think I'm going to make a bigger one of these because I really like this. So remember I was saying that I was going to make this a little bit sturdier before I attach it. So let me do that. I'll be right back. I got to go grab some scrap cardstock. Okay, so I went into my stash and I found some pretty heavy cardstock. Now the idea being is I don't want this to be, I don't need this to be all the way up because I'm just going to bend this back, this part back. So what I'm just trying to get is an idea. So let me make sure I get it all lined up. Of where I need to cut, because I don't need all of that because I want it to bend back. Oh, I thought I had my pencil. Oh, here we go. Yeah, pencil. So I'm just going to do a little line. And then I'm just going to cut this off because I don't need this part. I just need to reinforce the part that's going to flip because this is already has some cardstock behind it. I hope that makes sense because I don't want this to be so flimsy that when you start using the writing pad, then the paper can get worn and curl, and it won't hold up to the abuse. If someone lifting it up, just want to make sure it's substantial. That's all I'm getting at. All right. So what I'm going to do. Just want to make sure I get it all lined up. Okay. Oh well, let's do it this way. Basically, this is a big paper piecing project now, and I don't want any white showing. But if I do get some white showing, I can pull out some of my distressed ink, and actually I could distress the back of this now that I'm thinking about it. Like, I'm so persnickety. I'm sorry, I just have to make sure it's lined up. Although this isn't very straight, just gonna get it. Let me do the other edge. That's bothering me. So let's turn it this way. My glue is probably dry. Up. There we go. Okay. Right. Let me just smooth that out. So, okay. I think it'll be all right. Yeah, I think it'll be all right. I'm just going to trim that off. Because see, now so here's the deal. So when I do it like that and I bend it over, this will bend just fine. And then this will be a little bit like that. I didn't get it down there exactly like I want it. So guess what? We're going to do it again. I'm sorry. I can't deal. I gotta make sure that we don't try it one more again. Nothing. At least it came off really well, and I didn't have to worry about it. And I could pull out my distressed inks and go ahead and brown this up a little, so it won't be so stark white on this side. That would work too. I think I will. So this is what happens when you're crafting, and this was a last minute decision to add this. So yeah, there we go. Better the second time. So what I'm saying is I'm gonna go get some of my distressed ink, and I'm just gonna ink this up so it won't look so plain on the back side. Gina K had I was looking at Gina K, and she did a technique where you could make a faux thing with white cardstock. I saw it a while ago. I'd never thought I'd be doing it. I was watching her video and I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. I never thought I'd want to use the technique, but now, having looked at this, I could have made my own full wood paneling looking pattern paper, but bear with me. I'm going to be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I'm going to use these, the vintage photo and brush corduroy. I've never actually used these colors on anything, I don't believe. So I don't even know how they're gonna turn out. But hey, at least this paper won't be so white on the back side. And it doesn't have to be pretty. It really doesn't. I just want to brown up the paper a little bit. There we go. And I don't have to worry about getting ink. And I'm not really being real precise with this, because I didn't expect this video to be this long, but there you go. Now, if you would do better than me on this part. Okay, make sure I get them matched up. I usually am very oh wow. Yeah, we just want to get this smudged up a little. just so it won't be so white. If I was doing it a lot better, I wouldn't have these spots in here, but it's okay. It's rustic. Now this is going to be covered up, so I don't have to go that far up. But that's all that I want to do, just so that won't be so stark white. Hey, got a little bit of ink blending in here. So I just don't want it to be so white. Okay. So now we can take this. So all you're going to do is do what I'm doing, line it up. Then you can fold it to the back side, make sure it's all lined up, and then fold this down like so. Put that down on the ground. And then you're just going to, oh, we go this way. Yep. Let's do it this way. Just going to crease it with my fingernails that way. Just giving it a little persuasion. Crease it like that. Okay, then we're going to take the glue while it's still on here and then just glue this, and this should be fine. So all we're doing is making a decorative flap for this just to go into the top. Then we're almost done. And then I'm just going to fold it up like so. And we're going to just run our thing like that, crease up those edges. So now that's what that looks like. You can still pull out the pages, no problem there. So now the only thing we have to do once I did that is we're going to go ahead and do our band. So what you're going to do for that is you're going to take the band. I could have actually did the band. Then you're just going to wrap it around the back side like so. I'm just going to fold it over, but not too tight because you want to be able to slide this, sorry, I don't know if you saw that. Wasn't really looking, was looking down at my project. So you're going to take that and do it like that, and then just fold it over, just give it a little suggestion of a fold. And then we're going to glue this. And so what we're going to do is we're going to glue the band here, and then you're going to about 1/8 of an inch from the top is where you want it to be. So you're just going to make sure that, you know, everything looks good. So yeah, it does. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue here. And a little bit of glue on the other side. Again, I don't have to worry about the direction because it looks like it's too much. You can paint it up. Like Leo says, you can paint the glue to the edge. I think I got the glue on one side more than the other. And then the idea being is, forgive me if my head's in the way, that you want to go about 1/8 of an inch from the top. Be mindful of the score, the cover that needs to close. So just be ever so mindful of that. And just 1/8 of an inch from the top is where you want to be of the back cover. And then I'm just going to use my bone folder to get down in there and make sure I get good adhesion. Yep, it looks like before I really get, yep, it's good. Just do a little dry fit. Okay, so that's good. Just make sure you get down in there, pressing down. And then the idea being is now I can cover, it should slide right on in like that. That's what it looks like. It looks like a gift box actually. I really am having fun with this. Actually, yeah, it's good. It's good. This is good. This is good. So it kind of looks like a gift box. So this is where you can decorate. I'm not going to decorate it because at this point, but I will want to go ahead and add, you can add some grommets to this. You don't have to do this step. I'm going to, you can add the grommets here. So there's 2. Got a 7mm jump ring and a little tassel. And then I put a big grommet here. I think this is 5mm or something, because whoever the recipient is, so let's say they lose this little raffia twine, but they have like a ribbon or something a little bit bigger. I didn't want to use a smaller one. I think that's 3mm, because then you could fold up a ribbon and kind of get that through here, something a little bit bigger than this. So that gives the recipient a little more options if they needed to replace this thing right here to tie the tie off. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there because you don't have to do any of that. You do want to be mindful that this will not close unless you do something for it. Oh gosh, I see what the dealio is. Exactly what the dealio is. This is not even. Okay, so we're going to get that even. I don't know if you saw that. That was what was the dealio. Wasn't quite even with the top part. Okay, there we go. Just give me a little bit of glue right here. I was like, why does that look wonky? Because it wasn't even. Sure. Get that. That looks all weirded. There we go. Glad that glue hadn't set up yet. Let's see if that looks better. Sorry about that. So what I was saying is that there we go. There we go. Now that's not wonky. That's perfect. Perfect. What I was saying is you don't have to do anything. You can just wrap a band around here, especially if it's, this is more for a masculine guy. I may not do the little charm, but I do have an idea. I'm gonna go get my husband tackle box, and I might be putting a lead weight or something right here or something like that. I'm gonna go in this tackle box and see what he has that I can put right here. If I do put the 2 grommets. But so, ideally you can put the grommet here. What you want to do is be mindful of where your pocket is before you place your hole. Don't flick it in there. And then, but yeah, I can't wait. This is absolutely adorable. But I'm going to go ahead and decorate this off camera and finish it up because this is a long video. So if you like what you see today, please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you crafty crafters next time for my next project. You take care.